Hi everybody, Jessica here. My pronouns are she and her. And this class that we're going to get into today is really going to focus on really the full body, but a special focus on the hamstrings, the glutes, the hip flexors, so kind of like the booty and the thighs. So we'll be using, or I'll be using a couple of blocks today, and that's about it. But we certainly don't need to have them. So just bring your mat or whatever you're going to practice on, and I will see you on the mat in just a moment. Hi everybody. So for today's class, we are going to get started laying down on our back. We're going to start to warm up the spine and the hamstrings and the glutes, and begin with articulating bridge pose. So let's come down onto our back here. And we will arrive with the knees bent, soles of the feet on the ground. Walking the heels closer to the body here, pressing the palms down along the sides of the body. And we'll start by inhaling, lifting up the hips, nice and gently, maybe barely off the ground to start with. Getting into the hamstrings, squeezing the glutes slightly, and exhaling to lower all the way down, relaxing into the earth. Inhaling to lift up, press all of the full foot into the ground, each feet. So notice if you're like rolling off to the sides or lifting the toes up, plant everything down and draw the knees in towards each other as you lift. And exhale, release. Finding this a few more times on your own, at your own pace. And maybe walking the heels a little bit closer to the body, maybe rolling the shoulders under the body. Find a couple more here. And last one more here. Very good. Coming all the way down to center, we're going to make our way up into a seated position with legs extended in front of us. So take your time. Having a seat here, and then grabbing for one of your blocks. So we're just going to bring it right alongside the right foot here. We're going to get into the hamstrings a little bit as well as the hip flexors. So this can be a little dicey. It can feel really difficult in the body, but just try your best. And if using the block is not right for you, you don't have to use anything, or you could use a smaller object. Basically, we're going to bring our hands behind us. We're going to engage the lower body, engage the core, kind of pull everything tight into the middle, and inhale, lift that right leg over the block, right? Using the hip flexor, using the quad, using the hamstring, lift back to the other side. So finding this at your own pace, trying to keep the spine as tall as possible. Lift. Whew. I can feel that already. Let's find a few more. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. And if this isn't challenging enough for you, you can always change the placement of whatever object you're using. You can make your block taller. I think where I was plenty. But let's try it just for the sake of switching it up a little bit. Woo, yes. Let's find a few more here. Ooh, release. Plug that heel in and shake out the thigh, soften the leg, and just kind of bounce that knee. And we'll find this on the other side. So moving your block alongside the left foot this time. Hands come behind you, fingertips pointed towards your body. Nice and tall here, big inhale. And exhale, switch. You can point the toe. That kind of helps a little bit. You can keep the toe flexed up towards your face if you like that sensation. Just kind of play around with what you like here. And if this feels really simple, again, adjust the placement of your block or use nothing at all and just kind of practice that up and down motion here. Keep the breath moving, inhaling and exhaling. We're not holding the breath, even through difficulty. Woo, one more pass. In, out. Woo. Sit up nice and tall. Let's come into a bound angle. So bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to be nice and wide. Sits bones are connected to the ground, so if you need to move some of your thigh meat out of the way, go ahead and do that. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Knees come out to rest. Sit up nice and tall and grab for the ankles, or maybe interlace the hands under the feet. And on the exhale, we're just gonna kind of lean into this a little bit. So finding some leverage here and starting to bring the head down closer towards the feet. If this doesn't feel good to you, maybe slide the feet away from your body a little more. If you feel a little tight, try to pull that spine long. It's obviously going to curve and round, but if you can pull the chest forward here and find some length in the spine, that might be really nice in your body today. Relax the face. We'll take a few more breaths here. Very good. Let's start to release. Stretch out the shoulders and the back, and we're gonna come to tabletop position. So transition to your hands and knees, and I'm gonna bring a blanket right up underneath my knees. We'll be down here for a while, so take care of yourself in any way you need to. All right, so getting that cushion together, coming onto hands and knees, finding a tabletop position here. We want to check and make sure our hips are over the knees and our shoulders are over the wrists. Wrists can be a little more forward if that feels good. We just want to make sure we have some space in the body here. And so from here, let's bring the knees to touch, nice and close together. We're gonna get into the glutes and the hammies a little bit here. So when you're ready, we're gonna inhale and lift the right leg up, and we're gonna keep the knee bent. So sole of the foot lifts up. Woo, kick, 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 kick. Lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And find this at your own pace. We're just gonna take a few more pulses here. When you get used to the sensation, you can find your rhythm. And we want to try to keep the hip as stable as possible. So if you're kind of shifting to one side, see if you can square those hips off and find a neutral space. Even if it means you have to kick your leg up a little bit less, you have to dial it back to maintain that stability, that's fine. Lifting that knee a few more times, starting to feel the sensation of that powerful muscle group. You got this, keep on going. Bring the knee down. We're gonna find extended child's pose here, so set the hips back towards the heels. Reach the arms forward. Maybe the head hangs, maybe it comes down to the ground. And breathe. One more breath, we'll come back into it on the other side. And inhale, shift forward here. Let's find this on the other side. So knees come together again. Make sure your alignment is good and supportive. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Knee is bent, foot comes up towards the sky. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift a little more. Exhale, lower. And find your rhythm, taking your time, finding your pace. Try to stabilize that hip. Try to lengthen through the neck and the spine. Arms are strong, fingertips are pressing down to take some of that tension off of the wrists. Ooh, reach through the knee, lift that knee up, squeeze the glute, and then release on the way down. Ooh, couple more. Do you feel it burning? Do you feel the muscles moving and heating up? Ooh, one more. Come down. Find that child's pose, that extended child's pose. Very good. Let's roll back to center here. Let's find a little opening in the hip flexor versus stretching it and working it so much. So we're going to come up with that right leg again and extend it long this time. Keep the hips squared down to the ground. Ooh, roll out that ankle if you like. And we're going to shift the weight into the left hand here. We're going to pick that foot up and step it behind the left calf, just until you find the ground with your toes. And then maybe the right arm comes up. Really extend that leg back. Press the heel down towards the ground. Open up that hip. And then we'll come to center and find that on the other side. So gently make your way back to center. Left leg lifts this time. Bend that knee. Ball of the foot comes down to the ground. Finding a little twist through the middle of the body here. And then reaching up when you're ready. Pressing that heel, left heel towards the ground to open up that hip flexor. And back to center. Very nice. Shaking the head here, relaxing the neck. Let's come back into it. Knees come together, nice and tight, nice and close. We're gonna get into balancing cat here. So starting on the right side, again, extending that right leg. Keeping it in alignment with the hip. Hips are squared, and when you're ready, left arm lifts off the ground and reaches forward, rooting down through the right palm, lifting yourself out of the ground here. Gaze is down, spine is long. Keep the breath moving. Ooh, reach out through the heel, reach out through the fingertips. One more breath. Exhale, knee and palm come down. Take a moment. We'll find this on the other side. Left leg extends. Maybe right arm comes out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe both hands stay grounded, and that's fine. Reaching out, push the heel out. Fingertips reach forward. Lift out of the left palm. Press down with the top of the right foot. One more breath. Exhale, release. Let's find a child's pose. Take the knees wide this time if you like. Big toes maybe touch. Lay the forearms down. Press the palms down into the mat. And send the hips back towards the heels. Come into that full breath. Allow the rib cage to really open up and expand on the next inhale. Surrender the chest down to the ground, the head down to the ground. Breathe into the lower body, into the hamstrings, the glutes, the hip flexors, the calves. Breathe into the upper body, the triceps, the biceps, the wrists, shoulders, palms. One more breath here. You are doing beautiful. Let's come back onto tabletop position. Taking your time. Drawing the knees back in a little bit closer. And let's make our way to standing here. So to get there, we'll find downward facing dog, planting the hands down as wide as your shoulders are. Pressing the fingertips down, curling the toes under. Big inhale here. Exhale, shift the weight forward, curl the toes under, and then shift the weight back towards the heels. Drop the head, pedal it out here. Bend the knees, drop the head. Breathe. One more breath, sigh it out. Very good. Bend through the knees, step the feet out wide. Walk the hands back towards the feet, and let's find a wide squat here, Vinyasa. So bringing the elbows to the inside of the thighs here, hands to heart center, try to lift that chest up. You can even come to the toes if you need to. You can bring a block right up underneath your seat for support. Ooh, getting a nice counter stretch on all that work we just did. 2 more breaths here. Last breath here. Hands come down. Shift the weight forward. Straighten the legs. Heel toe the feet a little bit closer together. Forward fold. Let's hang out here for a moment. Relax the head down. Inhale the halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Gaze stays down here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're gonna come into chair pose. So start here from this fold, swooping the arms back behind you, bending into the knees as you shift everything forward. Chest comes up, arms come up. Sit down into the thighs here. Sit down a little deeper if you can. Inhale, we're gonna press all the way up. Ooh, squeeze the booty a little bit at the top here. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, open the eyes, drop the hands down. We're gonna move our prop off the mat if you have one. So if your blanket's down here, let's just fold it up and roll it off to the side and step through to the front of the mat. If you're using your blocks today, let's just frame the top of our mat with the blocks here. And we're gonna step back into a lunge. So let's start with the right, actually let's start with the left leg. So taking just a moment before we get in there, let's find our balance a little bit. Lunges are an intricate mix of balance and strength. And I think for me, I struggle with the balance part. So I feel kind of warming up in the balance department helps. So shifting the weight into the right foot, bringing the gaze down, and really finding a focal point. That can be a speck of dirt, a smudge on the wall, a candle, anything that you can stare at that's not moving, that's gonna help you with the stability here. So shifting that weight into the right foot, coming to the ball of the left foot, and then maybe lifting that knee up, flexing the foot, trying to bring that knee into alignment with the hip if you can. All right, you can use your hands here to stabilize. One more breath. And the exhale, we're gonna lower that knee, keep the foot lifted, and we're gonna step back into our lunge. So shifting the leg back, finding your balance, reaching way back and finding the ground with the toes here, hands at heart center. Sit into that front thigh, keep the heel lifted, and maybe slide a little deeper into the lunge if you need to, if the room is there for you. Elbows press out, hands at heart center, sink down here. Back leg is strong. You are rooted and grounded through this posture. One more breath here. Exhale, hands come down to the ground or to your blocks. Keep that leg extended in the back. Ooh, let's straighten that front leg and press the back heel down. Now, this is intense. Intense is actually in the name of this posture, believe it or not. So if you're down here and you're like, Jessica, I cannot deal with this, it's too much, step that back foot in just a little bit. That should take some of the intensity out. So when you are in a space where you can breathe and focus on this stretch, I want you to think of shifting this right hip back. So notice if your hip is kind of opened up, and press it back here, lengthen through that front leg, drop the head down. Breathing and stretching into the backs of the legs here, releasing the glutes, let them be soft. Notice if you're tightening them. And then from here, we're gonna come into a half splits. So I'm gonna walk my blocks forward, come off that back leg, standing half splits. My blocks come off of my mat here, and I'm just gonna lift that back leg up and drop the head down as much as I can. Maintaining your breath. It gets a little difficult when maintaining balancing postures. and accessing the strength. So if you're struggling here, I am too. We're doing it together. It's absolutely fine. Drop that head down a little more. Maybe lift the leg a little more. And then step it forward, forward fold. Yes, take a moment just to kind of notice the difference in each leg. That right leg is probably pretty fatigued. Left leg is tired, but not as much, right? Halfway lift on an inhale here. Exhale, melt back down. Yes, so good. Inhale, chair pose, swoop the arms back. Oh, lift the chest and the torso, lift the arms or hands at heart center, sit back, squeeze the thighs together. And inhale, press all the way up, nice and slow, nice and gently. Exhale, hands at heart center. Yes. Shake out that right leg for just a moment before we get into the other side. Mine's burning, so I imagine yours might be too. Coming back to center here, grounding ourselves, and we're gonna find that balancing posture on the other side. So shifting the weight into the left foot this time. Taking a moment, maybe you come to the ball of the right foot, finding our focal point once again. Lifting that right knee up, flexing the right foot. Pressing the big toe mound of the grounded foot down. Ooh, hands to heart center, start to shift that knee and that foot back, bending into the standing leg. Toe comes to the ground, nice and gently. Shift back onto the ball of the foot. Sit into that front thigh. Sit a little bit deeper. And breathe. Remember to keep breathing. Very good. Next, exhale. Bring the hands down, lengthen through that front leg, send the heel back. And remember, if you need to step in, step in. If you're okay, start breathing here and hunkering down. A few more breaths. Relax the neck, relax the face. Press the back heel down. Extend that front leg forward. Send that hip back so the hip stays squared. Let's start to find our half splits here. So walking the hands forward, coming off of that back foot and lifting that leg up. Standing half splits here. Lengthening through the grounded foot. Again, trying to keep the hips squared. So being aware if the hips start to open off to the side. One more breath here. And exhale, step it through. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. You know the drill. Take a seat. Squeeze the thighs together. Find your focal point. Maybe lift the heels up. Come onto the balls of the knees. Maybe sit all the way down. Totally optional. Hands come down. Forward fold. Inhale, we're gonna rise all the way up to standing. Taking your time, reaching up for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment here. Letting that breath fill your body. Letting that breath spill into the spaces that feel like they're burning, that feel fatigued. Allowing the breath to be expansive and nutritious for your heart, your soul, and your body. Release the hands here. You're gonna make our way back down. So let's step back, maybe a third of the way back on the mat here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, plant the hands down. We'll step back into downward facing dog. So one foot and then the other. Shift the weight back, pedal it out. Bring the feet close together and we'll lift the left foot up. Roll out the ankle. Step it down. Right foot comes up. Roll out the ankle. Step it down. 3 more breaths here. Finding stillness. Pressing the heels down a little closer if you can. And lowering down onto the knees nice and gently. And we'll find our way onto our back. So taking your time. Laying all the way down. And knees are bent here. We're going to stretch out behind the leg one last time. So if you are not able to easily access your legs this way, you can use a towel behind the thigh here or your strap. And we're just going to interlace the fingers behind the left leg and extend it up towards the sky, flexing the toes down towards your face. This is a little easier with the right leg bent. And just gently bring that thigh into the body or use that strap to pull the leg in a little closer, flexing the toes, bending, or pointing the toes. So flexing the toes towards your face, pointing them up towards the sky, and maybe finding some circles here. Very nice. So we'll release and find that on the other side. Moving slow and deliberately with purpose and intention. And finding a moment of gratitude here, just a little smile for putting in this work today, for trying something that might be new to you, for trusting me, for showing up, even if you took half of this class and then just kind of laid there for the rest of it. We all have those days, and that is absolutely fine. So give yourself a little love for being here with me. And then we can release the right leg. Yes, I'm ready for Shavasana. Let's get it. So find whatever shape suits you today here. Whatever shape you're choosing for your Shavasana, and let your body spill off of your mat. Let your body take whatever shape it wants, to make whatever noise it wants. And let's sit back in the back seat of all of it and just kind of observe and check out what's going on, what's happening, without direction or judgment or a story. Just being perfect as we are and accepting that perfection as it is. We're exactly who we're supposed to be today, and we're exactly how we're supposed to be today, even if that is perfectly imperfect. Soften the face, let the body melt down. Notice the softness of the breath. Notice the sensations on your skin. Notice that rhythm of the heartbeat starting to slow down here, working in conjunction with the breath. we've reached the end of our practice together. I hope that your body feels amazing, and I really hope that you'll join me next time on the mat. If you have any feedback, or if there's any specific content that you want to see from me, or any questions that you have that you'd like me to address in a class, please leave a comment. I promise that I will take it and do good work with your feedback. So thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.